guys, it's your girl Renee, and today I'm just going to show you what I will be up to today. You see all this bread that I have on this baking dish? My husband always goes to the store and buys these sub rolls, and he never can eat them all, so I'm going to do these. I have this bread, I have hamburger buns, I've got regular bread. Remember I told you how my family don't like to eat the butt of the bread? But I'm going to do that. More hamburger buns, hot dog buns. I'm going to turn all this bread into breadcrumbs. Because I'm telling you, you don't have money to waste. So this is easy peasy. All you need is bread, a good knife, a cutting board, a food processor, a baking sheet, and all you're going to do is you're going to cut these into cubes. I will show you step by step on what I'm doing. So let me get some bread. I'm going to cut them in strips and little cubes, and then I'm going to put them in this bowl right here. All right, so let me cut it, and then I'll come back when I have all my things cut up and put in the bowl, so we can just dump it into the baking sheet, so we can get all this bread turned in some beautiful Italian breadcrumbs or plain breadcrumbs. And I'm gonna do both. I'm gonna do plain and I'm gonna do Italian. All right, let me get this stuff cut up. So these, I'm working with my hot dog buns. This is what I just separate them. They come, you know how hot dog bun comes. It comes like that. I just separated them, and then I cut them into these little squares, and then I just dump them in my bowl. So I'm going to do that to all this bread, and then when I get it all cut up, what I'm going to use for the first batch, I'll come back and I'll let you see what the next step is. You guys, so I've put all my breadcrumbs on my cookie sheet. Now we are going to take it to the oven, and I've got my oven preheated for 375 because I know when I put it on 400 it gets a little bit too hot, and you don't want to burn your breadcrumbs. You know, your pieces of bread, and you want them to be like croutons. Want them to be hard, stiff, and lightly golden brown. So let's go over here and put them in the oven. All right, so let's get these in the oven. And then I will just keep checking on them until they start to turn brown. And you're going to have to like toss them. You know, pull your cookie sheet out, turn them over, and let them get brown on the other side. All right, so let's get these rocking and rolling. I'll be back when it's time to flip them over. Guys, so this is how the breadcrumbs look. I'll scoop some up so you can see what they look like, how they're supposed to be nice and toasty. I always kind of like feel them to make sure they're not super soft, because you don't want to be soft. You want them to be hard. See, that's hard. See, you hear that? That's what you want. So these are almost ready. I'll keep them, because see how this one I can still push in the middle. So this means I have to leave this one in the oven for a little bit longer. So I'm going to stick these back in the oven, give them like 5 more minutes, and then this first batch should be ready to rock and roll and put in the food processor. So I'll be back in a few minutes. All right, you guys, so here they are, and I have my food processor right here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to scoop these breadcrumbs, and we are going to put them into this food processor. Maybe it'd be easier if I did it this way. Yup. So you're going to do is just scoop it, put them in your food processor. That's all I'm doing. Sticking them in there. All the crumbs, all that. And make sure that all the breadcrumbs are not soft. Make sure they're super crunchy, because when you put it in a jar or you put it in a freezer bag, you want to make sure that they are dry to the crunch. No wetness, no moisture in your breadcrumbs. So let me fill this up and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have all the breadcrumbs in my food processor. Now I'm going to put the top on, and then we are going to blend this bad boy up. Push it down. Just scoop this over some. All right. Hold up. Hold on. We're having technical difficulties. You ready? Woohoo! You can see I have some of the breadcrumbs because I had to like push them down so my lid would shut. So it's gonna be a little noisy, but you guys be able to see it, and then I'll come back when it's all finished. Here we go, you guys. Time to make some breadcrumbs. See, look at that. See how beautiful that is? All right, you could put this to the consistency that you want. Let's open it up and let's see the consistency of these breadcrumbs. All right, here they are, and it smells so good. And this is what they look like. You can have them thicker, finer than that. It's up to you. And I like this kind of consistency because it's not too chunky. It's fine. So if I want to roll any like vegetables, meats or anything, they'll be easier to coat. So I'm happy with this consistency. So what I'm going to do now is I have a mason jar over here, and I'm going to fill this one up. So I'm going to make this jar right here. I'm going to make it plain breadcrumbs. So let me get my funnel. All right, so I have them all ground up like I want them. Now I'm just going to pour them into this funnel and let the rest of it do the work for me. And I have another sheet of bread in the oven because I just keep them rolling. I usually have like 2 cookie sheets going, and that's the way I like it. Let me show you what they're going to look like. See, look at that. Breadcrumbs. Beautiful. So this one's going to be plain, and my next one that I'm going to be doing is going to be Italian seasoning. And when I get to that one, then I'll show you how I make my Italian seasoning. But that looks so good, you guys. Look at that. Fresh breadcrumbs made from bread that you would have normally probably would have just thrown away. But what? We are trying to repurpose and reuse our things that we have in our house, like bread, because everybody has bread. And if you're like my family, we always have leftover bread that it just sits around. And then I found out, hey, I can make breadcrumbs because I'm always coating something in breadcrumbs. I tell you, I'm on the mentality of thinking, how can I save money um, in my household? And making breadcrumbs out of bread was on top of my list. So, all right, let me get the rest of this jar filled up, and then when I finish making my breadcrumbs to do the Italian seasoning, then I'll come back and I'll show you. All right, breadcrumbs. Woohoo! You are looking good. All right, you guys. So now I'm going to be making my Italian seasoning breadcrumbs. So once you have all your breadcrumbs ground up to the consistency that you like, and this is how I like mine, then you're just going to add some Italian seasonings, either homemade Italian seasonings. This Italian seasoning I got from the DT store, so I usually just pour some in there, and then I just stir it up into my breadcrumbs. And then I add some more. Smells good between the homemade breadcrumbs and the Italian seasonings. This is what I'm talking about, you guys. Trust and believe, this is better than anything that you can find in the grocery store. And you've already spent the money on the bread. So why not go ahead and use that bread that you were going to throw out to make something and turn it into something that you're going to be using. Remember, I'm an advocate for repurpose and reuse. So we're using this old bread that we had, made us some wonderful breadcrumbs, some Italian breadcrumbs. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take your jar that you're going to put the breadcrumbs in, and we are just going to spoon it in there. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to take my Ninja blender and pour these breadcrumbs into this Ninja blender like this. Let me get it right so I don't spill all this stuff all over the place. Come on, Ninja. Do right. Put that in there. And then we're just going to pour this into our jar. There we go. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And we have some homemade Italian seasoning. So let me finish mixing up the rest of my breadcrumbs, and then when I get done, I'll come right back. Okay, you guys, so now we have our plain breadcrumbs. I already labeled them right there, and these are the plain, and this one is my Italian breadcrumbs. Look at that. Isn't that something? Now, whenever I need to make a meatloaf or maybe want to do my world's famous pork chops and my breadcrumbs, chicken, breadcrumbs, vegetables and breadcrumbs, whatever you want to do, you can make your own breadcrumbs now. Easy peasy. I showed you how to do it, so I know you guys can do it too. So I have some leftover bread. So what we're going to do now is we're going to make some seasoned breadcrumbs and some biscotti. That's what I was trying to say. Some biscotti. You know, those little hard pieces of bread that everybody's raving about. You can do that too. So come on, let's go ahead and make some of that. Okay, so I have some leftover bread that I cut in cubes, and you can season these with any kind of seasoning you want. I'm going to do this garlic and herb seasoning because I'm going to put these croutons on my salad for dinner. So I'm just going to sprinkle some of that on to these breadcrumbs, and then I'm going to toss them. And then we're going to put these on the cookie sheet. And then we are going to brown them up just like we always do. So let's go ahead and put these on the cookie sheet. And I have some slices that we're going to turn into this, can never say that, biscotti. So we got our little breadcrumbs here, and we've tossed them with some of our seasonings. Just going to sprinkle it on there. I'm going to lay them flat. One thing I want to tell you, don't crowd your cookie sheets. Make sure you have enough room so they can all lay flat. Because if you crowd them, then they won't brown as nicely as you would like them to do. So let me get some more seasonings. Or do I have enough seasoning on here to where I can just sprinkle some more? All right, so I'm going to sprinkle a little bit more on here, so they can get some kind of a seasoning to them. Okay, put this one over here so we can get some kind of seasoning on it too. All right, let's put them in the oven, and I'll come back when we are ready to try them. All right, you guys, so our biscotti is done. Look at that. Woohoo! And these are our croutons right here that has that garlic and herb seasoning on it. So let me put a salad together. We're going to top this with our homemade croutons, and we're going to put some fig jam that I made on our biscotti, and we're going to have us a taste test. Woohoo! All right, you guys, so let's get it on. All right, so this is my salad that has the croutons on it. Look at that. Isn't that a beautiful salad? Love it, love it, love it. And this is our biscotti right here. Let me pick one up so you guys can see. Our biscotti, nice and golden brown. Look at that, edges. And I put some of my homemade fig jam on there that I made. Fig jam. So let me put some dressing on my salad. I like a little drizzle. Yep, you want to see my little drizzle? This is my drizzle of my salad. Isn't it a good looking salad right there, you guys? Love it, love it, love it. All right, let's taste it. What our homemade croissants that we made together. Let me get one of those croissants and some salad. Here we go. Here's your bite with your croissant. Can you guys hear that crunch? This tastes so, so good. Now, let's try our biscotti with the fig jam. Here's your bite. Go ahead. And that fig jam looks so good. Here we go. Let's see if we can hear the crunch. Tell you, instead of going in the store and paying all them high prices for the biscotti, you can make your own right at home. And that's what it looks like. Easy peasy. Let's take some bread, cut it to the size shape you want, put it in the oven at 375, let it get toasty brown, make sure it's hard like a crouton, and you are in there. Oh, this fig jam tastes so good. Let me have one more bite. Would you like another bite? Here, bite from this end. Since I bit off the other end. There you go. That crunch on that biscotti and our croutons is everything. You hear me? Everything. So let's recap what we did today. We made our plain breadcrumbs right here. We also made our Italian breadcrumbs right here together. So I'm going to make sure I make probably 2 more of these jars because I use a lot of breadcrumbs when I'm cooking. I'm telling you, breadcrumbs can go in anything. Meatloaf, like I said, you can do chicken in it, you can do pork chops in it, you can do zucchini if you're doing zucchini fries, put a little breadcrumbs with some Parmesan cheese, chow, throw them suckers in the oven, let them get nice and crunchy, and you will never ever want to buy another store-bought bag of breadcrumbs. You hear me? So with that being said, you know your girl was going to go and finish her salad. And I hope you enjoyed this video on how to make homemade breadcrumbs. You got this, you guys. You got this. You saw how easy it was. I took you step by step. You came along with me. We did it together. And the outcome was out of this world. Look at this. A biscotti. Now, I'm not a big lover of biscotti, but if you throw some kind of jam on it, your girl is in there. All right, you guys, have a wonderful day. Have a blessed day. And I'm going to finish eating my biscotti, finish eating my salad with my homemade breadcrumbs. Let me show you that one more time. Woohoo! Isn't that fantastic? What a beautiful salad. All right, guys, I will talk to you guys in the next video. Go ahead and make you some breadcrumbs and some croutons and biscotti. You can do it. You got this. Come on. This is to motivate you. Look at the salad with the croutons, and it's going to hypnotize you. And you're going to want to say, Renee, I'm going to make me some of that today or this week. All right, you guys. Love you all.